Massachusetts is known for its rich history and cultural heritage, but it is also home to some of the most notorious criminals in recent memory. From violent murderers to corrupt politicians, these individuals have left a lasting impact on the Bay State and the nation as a whole. In this list, we will take a look at the top 10 most notorious criminals from Massachusetts, exploring their crimes and the impact they have had on the state and beyond. But before we get started, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified about our amazing upcoming informative videos. Now sit back, relax, and let's go. At number 10, we have Amy Bishop. Amy Bishop is an American academic and convicted murderer from Massachusetts. On February 12, 2010, she shot and killed 3 colleagues and injured 3 others at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. Before this shooting, Bishop had a history of erratic behavior, including a 1986 incident in which she shot and killed her brother at their home in Massachusetts. The incident was originally ruled an accident, but was later reclassified as a homicide after the Alabama shooting. In September 2013, Bishop was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Number 9. Tony Costa. Tony Costa was a notorious mobster from Massachusetts in the 1960s and 1970s. He was associated with the New England Mafia and was known for his involvement in various illegal activities, including gambling, loan sharking, and drug trafficking. Costa was also suspected of involvement in several high-profile murders and was considered a dangerous and violent individual. Despite his criminal activities, he maintained a low profile and managed to evade law enforcement for many years. Costa was eventually arrested and imprisoned for his crimes, but he remains a notorious figure in the history of organized crime in New England. Number 8. Albert Desalvo. Albert Desalvo was a notorious serial killer who was active in Massachusetts in the early 1960s. He is better known as the Boston Strangler and is believed to have murdered at least 13 women in the Boston area between 1962 and 1964. The case received widespread media attention and was one of the most high-profile criminal investigations in the history of the state. Desalvo was eventually caught and imprisoned for a different set of crimes, and later confessed to being the Boston Strangler. However, his guilt in the murders has been called into question and remains a matter of controversy. Number 7. Bobby Donati. Bobby Donati was a notorious mobster and hitman from Massachusetts. He was associated with the New England Mafia and was known for his involvement in various illegal activities, including loan sharking, gambling, and drug trafficking. Donati was also suspected of involvement in several high-profile murders and was considered a dangerous and violent individual. Despite his criminal activities, he managed to evade law enforcement for many years and was considered a charismatic figure within the criminal underworld. Donati was eventually arrested and imprisoned for his crimes, but he remains a notorious figure in the history of organized crime in New England. Number 6. Joseph Druce. Joseph Druce was a convicted murderer and rapist from Massachusetts who gained notoriety for killing a fellow prison inmate, defrocked priest John Geoghegan, in 2003. Druce was serving a life sentence for killing a man he had picked up hitchhiking when he attacked Geoghegan, who was serving multiple sentences for child molestation. Druce claimed that he killed Geoghegan in order to stop him from molesting children in the future, and his actions were widely condemned by victims' rights groups and others. Druce was sentenced to an additional life term for Geoghegan's murder and died in prison in 2013 while awaiting transfer to a maximum security facility. At number 5, we have Stephen Fleming. Stephen Fleming, also known as the Rifleman, was a notorious gangster and mafia associate from Massachusetts. He was a longtime member of the Winter Hill Gang, a Boston-based organized crime group, and was known for his involvement in numerous crimes, including extortion, loan sharking, and murder. Fleming became a government witness in the 1990s, providing testimony against his former criminal associates in exchange for leniency, and was instrumental in the prosecution of several high-profile organized crime cases in Massachusetts. He was sentenced to life in prison in 2004 for his role in 10 murders and other crimes, and remains behind bars to this day. Number 4. Fotis Hayes. Fotis Hayes is a Greek-American organized crime figure. He is associated with the Patriarcha crime family, one of the 5 major mafia families in the United States. Hayes has been convicted of multiple crimes, including murder, racketeering, and extortion, and is serving a life sentence in federal prison. Number 3. Paul Shanley. Paul Shanley was a Roman Catholic priest from Massachusetts who was convicted of child sexual abuse in 2005. He was accused of molesting several children during the 1970s and 1980s while he was a priest at St. Jean's Parish in Newton, Massachusetts. Shanley was a prominent figure in the widespread sexual abuse scandal in the Catholic Church, and his case received significant media attention. He was sentenced to 12 to 15 years in prison but was released in 2017. Number 2. Kristen Gilbert. Kristen Gilbert is a former nurse from Massachusetts who was convicted of killing 4 patients and attempting to kill another by injecting them with epinephrine. She worked at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northampton, Massachusetts, and was accused of using her access to medications to kill patients. She was convicted in 2001 and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. At number 1 we have John Geoghegan. John Geoghegan was a Catholic priest in Massachusetts who was convicted of child molestation in 2002. He was accused of sexually abusing over 130 children over the course of 3 decades. Geoghegan's case was part of the widespread sexual abuse scandal in the Catholic Church, and his prosecution was seen as a turning point in the public's perception of the issue. He was sentenced to 9 to 10 years in prison but was murdered by another inmate in 2003. In conclusion, these 10 notorious criminals from Massachusetts have left a lasting impact on the state and the nation. Despite the heinous nature of their crimes, they will forever be remembered as a part of Massachusetts history. These individuals serve as a reminder of the evil that can exist in our society and the importance of holding those who break the law accountable for their actions. Whether they are behind bars or have since passed away, their legacy will continue to live on and be studied for years to come. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.